Hello, everybody. Welcome back or welcome to the Sound Mind Strategy Podcast. This is your host, Evan, and sitting across from me is my lovely wife, Anina, as usual. This is episode number 33. So sit back, crank up them earbuds, and enjoy the show. All right. How are you doing, Anina? How are you feeling?
I am feeling great considering I just woke up from a nap a little bit ago. That was heavenly. So I'm feeling really good. I got like a little, another little nugget of energy now to push me on for the rest of the night. So hopefully I don't have trouble sleeping tonight. I know it's always a no-no to take a nap, but it felt so good.
You didn't take it too late. I think you should be okay. I don't know. Either way, I think you deserved it. We were crazy busy this weekend, weren't we?
We were. Lots of baby stuff.
A ton of stuff done, and I feel really good about it.
Me too. We were all over St. Louis today, like yesterday.
Yeah. We went to like every single store possible for baby gear. Returns, exchanges, everything.
The whole thing. Yep.
It was awesome. I got a nice run in, which is weird to say run.
Right.
I haven't ran that long in many years. As I was running, I was like, how long has it been since I've run this far? I did a 5-mile run, a little over, almost 5.25. And man, it's probably been 8 to 10 years since I've run that far, which
wow.
I enjoyed it. It was nice.
You had a nice pace.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was very nice. Got a really nice ride in with the team. So that was fun. Roads were wet, but weather was actually really nice. So
yeah, it was.
Great day to be on the bike. You had a nice long walk with Cooper, right?
Yeah, I had a nice long walk with Cooper, and then got on the bike inside for a little while.
Yeah, you texted me and said, lunch is ready. I'm getting on the trainer. I said, wow, this lady is incredible. That was cool.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. Really good weekend.
We got any updates? Do you want to kind of share baby updates?
The major one is that his lungs are like developed.
Yes. That's what I got in my book. It says big milestone. This week is huge. Baby has lungs that are now fully developed. So that's really, really cool. Like we're hitting some major milestones now to where we know like if baby, came early, we're okay. Right?
Exactly.
Like, we're okay. We're going to have a healthy baby.
We're okay. 27 days away.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So it's weird. That says 27, but I think not till February 2nd, so that's more than 27, but somewhere, I don't know. It's close.
Yeah.
It's within
close.
It's 30-ish.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's crunch time.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe all you like experienced parents think like, whatever. But us noobs, like,
yeah. It's like, what?
Like Panic City.
Yeah.
Excitement and panic. I think like they're going up at the same rate.
So true.
Yeah. So what else do I got? Baby stats. Baby's the size of a small Nerf football. That's cool.
Ooh.
That's cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Kidneys and liver, as well as other organs, are now fully developed. And baby's putting on weight. So let me see.
I can tell. My belly is like, what?
Really? Yeah.
It's really getting big.
No, you're beautiful. I know. We joke like that. Obviously, I think you are beautiful. But, we say, of course you're gaining weight.
Right.
That's a good thing.
This is a good thing.
That means, like, baby's gaining weight and you're just like, he's just hanging out.
I'm just facilitating a nice weight gain for him.
What do I have here? It says baby is about 18 inches and just a little over 5 pounds. And I think everything that we've seen in your ultrasounds and everything, he's always kind of right there middle percentile. So that's give or take a little bit, 5-ish pounds, 18 inches or so. Although we're both a little short, so maybe he's only
15.
17 inches.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Very good.
House updates. We're on crunch time with that. Like we are trying to get closing date moved forward a little bit, so we have a little leeway of a allowing us to move without being panicked.
Right. 2 days before baby is what it is set for right
Currently.
now. So,
But yeah, we're okay either way. We're fine. We're okay here to extend just a little bit if we need, if baby does show up. So
yeah, we're thankful no matter what, but ready.
yeah, we're going to be fine. It's going to make for a really, really good story later.
Yes. So true.
I want to say a big, huge thank you to my mom, who actually pretty much followed us back to St. Louis day after Christmas, and then she literally packed our place. I mean, we helped, and you and my mom tackled it. Like, I had to work that very next day, and I came home and like pretty much everything was packed. So my job was just
carry the boxes.
Boxes,
and you did that very well.
Yeah, and then you went to work, and then I was able to help my mom the next morning and finished up pretty much. So now it's just furniture and the things we need to live for a month.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Feels really good, but really
so
empty
I was going to
here.
take a photo of us kind of like, for Instagram and all that for the podcast, but it's like, no, everything's
so
bare. I can't do that. Another huge announcement. Today, actually, the day we are recording is my grandmother's 90th birthday. So
yay,
happy birthday, Grandma. Like, that is
pretty amazing.
an amazing accomplishment. And she's looking good, feeling good. So I'm so excited. Like, we got to spend some time with her and Grandpa at Christmas. And so it was great. It was really good. So what's the topic? What do we got? What do we got?
Well, after much deliberation, we settled on New Year's resolutions, right? I mean, how could we not?
It's like a free gift. You can't pass that up.
You cannot.
I mean, I think we're going to put our spin on it. What we,
kind of how we approach them, how they've worked or not worked for us in the past.
Yeah, how we've dealt with them. Do we do them even kind of thing? So, you want to kick us off, or you want me to lead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So really, let me just ask you this: like, do you even do New Year's resolutions?
So the interesting thing here is that for years and years and years, I would always set some type of goal.
Okay, so you did.
I did. Yeah, I always set a goal. It was typically, I'd say, always around like lose weight, eat better, and
right.
Lo and behold, a couple weeks into it, not even that, half the time, I would totally flop and be like, never mind, I'll try next year. And so to date, it's been a couple years since I've actually set a New Year's goal, just because I've had such a bad relationship with it in the past.
Okay.
Of striving and falling on my face, and it just kind of got old after a while. So, but I do feel like I have some new things I've learned about myself and about goals that I think are going to make this year a little bit more, perhaps a little more successful for me. So what about you? What were your take on New Year's resolution goal?
Yeah, I was pretty much the same way. I used to kind of always do it just because everyone else did. And then I was like, I went through a phase and kind of some thinking of like, I don't need a hard start date to do something. But then other times it was like, no, maybe I do. So I like it. I understand it, because it's this time of the year where you're just coming off of basically 30 days of being thankful and family and thoughtfulness and stuff like that. But then it's also times when we're kind of like potentially eating our worst and cutting loose and relaxed and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, how do I flip the script on that? What do I make my resolution? Do I make it like you're saying? Like, is it a way to really punish myself and get on myself for maybe being a little bit more relaxed? Or do I make it a fitness goal? Do I make it a money goal? Do I make it anything? Like, like maybe tithing at church is a little bit more important to me. So there's a lot of things I've kind of set it on, and it was like, you know what? I don't need an actual date to do things. It reminds me a lot of like, what do you buy like I have this thing, like my dad or my uncle or, like, or your dad even, like people have always said this, like for Christmas or their birthday, they're hard to shop for because if they want it, they just go do it. They buy it. And that's kind of the way I feel with like goals or resolutions. If I want to do it, if I want to set that goal, I just do it. I don't need the date to do it. So that's kind of where I'm all over the place with it. I've done it and then I've not done it. And then I also, coming into this year, I'm like, you know what? I think it's a really good idea. I like the idea of it and pick something.
And have like a new relationship with it, it sounds like too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think has like been the thing that's made you struggle with sticking to your New Year's resolution?
Not picking proper things, not picking things thoughtfully, or picking something with no plan. You know what I mean? Something really lofty that sounds great, but I have no idea on how to accomplish it in a meaningful or, like proper way.
It's like that saying, like a vision without a plan is a hallucination.
So I had a vision for something. I had no plan to get there. I start super strict, allow no room for error, no room for growth, and flop and fail. And
like all or nothing.
The fail is okay, but then it's right. So once I kind of break my own rules, then it's done. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's not really much space for giving yourself any grace through it all, it sounds like.
Right. Some of the ones that I've actually had the most luck with are, without being specific on what they were, I actually was a little bit more thoughtful into it, right? So they weren't so big and lofty. They were things that I could just kind of work into my everyday. You have to understand who you are as a person, instead of taking these ideals that are so grand and just saying, okay, I'm going to completely change my life overnight and be this new person. So when I stepped away from that and just said, this is realistic of how I live my life and what I do, and how can I just make a tweak or a small, slight change that will have big effect down the road.
Yeah.
Those have been the most meaningful and impactful resolutions.
Yeah. Ones actually stick. It sounds like it's a little healthier of a way to approach them.
Mm-hmm. I really feel like one of the things that I used that was a really good barometer for me to know, like, okay, is this something, like if I was thoughtful about it, leading up, coming into New Year's, so that, that kind of week between Christmas, New Year's, of like, okay, I need to be thinking about something. I need to pick something. If I pick something and then like, if I go just crazy on that thing, if it's a spending thing, it's a eating thing, if it's a working out thing, whatever it is, if I go completely opposite of that,
like totally gorge for like a week or something.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm going to quit eating sugar, or I'm going to that's the only thing I eat until then, or I'm going to kind of live on a budget, like budget my money for the week or the month, and then I just spend like crazy or whatever it is,
that's your barometer.
That's a good barometer to let me know that it's not going to last. I'm not going to do this well because I feel like I have to get it all in, do all the bad stuff, or, the opposite of what my future goal is going to be. If I can just like cram as much of it in as before I have the mark of when I need to change my life. Like, that just shows I don't have a very good mindset towards it, and it's not something that's going to be long-term.
Yeah. Cause it almost sounds like you're already really, that whole like all or nothing kind of thinking is really coming forward on the other way. Cause you're just kind of going all out beforehand and then try to go
just binge.
Right.
And then think that magically, like come January 1, that like I'm going to be able to flip the script and life is good.
Right.
I'm pretty strict and I have pretty good self-control. I mean, I'm sure there are many people out there with better, but I'm pretty diligent and disciplined in a lot of things, but it's just unrealistic to say that, for the next 365 days that I'll be able to adhere to this, knowing that like I just went crazy for that week or a few days leading up to it just to get it all out,
Right. Yeah. And that's good. It's like, it sounds like you're learning about yourself, which I think is important for each of us as we set goals. And I know even earlier we were talking about, when we are setting a goal, if that's something that you want to do for the new year, is really thinking about a couple things here. What are your thoughts towards that goal?
Yeah.
What are the feelings that you get when you think about that goal? Which we know everything starts in our mind as a thought, which then turns into a feeling, which then turns into action or inaction, basically.
Yeah, I think that inaction part's really important because that's just as important as like being action, because like I said, that all stems from the thought that we had leading into that. So
it does. So I think something I know that's helped me that I want to share is that, when I am trying to make a new goal or work towards something that I want to change in my life, it's like I have to really get down to the root of it, of what is my thought towards this? What kind of feeling comes up for me? And then it kind of shows me, more likely than not, if I'm going to take any action or inaction. And so, for example, I know like I've worked with some people who have keep saying they're going to go to the gym, and put it in their planner, put it on their fridge. It's everywhere they see it, and they don't ever do it. And basically getting down to the root of what is your thought when you're thinking about before going to the gym.
Okay.
And like we've heard for this person, it was more this apathetic feeling of going to the gym, and really having them dig deep into like why that emotion was coming, that feeling was coming forward for them, and really get down to the root of it. And it was more of this person used exercise as a way to punish themselves in the past.
Right.
And so when they thought about working out, it was kind of just like, oh, I don't want to do this. Like, what's the point kind of thing.
Like it wasn't going to last, or like it wasn't going to do any good for them?
Yeah, like it wasn't going to last. It wasn't going to, nothing was going to change. Yeah, they could go, but they'd still be in the same boat. Like they weren't going to get any results that they wanted to get. And so kind of being able to pull some of those layers back to find out what's really going on. Because I know we've all been there. Keep saying we're going to do something and we're not doing it. And it's like, well, why
Even
not?
with good intention. I think that's the important part, because like the person you're speaking of, like there was good intention behind that. Like, truly wanted to make positive change, but really needed to ask that question of like, what are the thoughts and the emotions going in, like when it's time to go to the gym, or when you're writing gym on the calendar, when you're blocking it out, even like, there's all the best intention, but even when I write gym in that time block, like I'm probably not going to go, or that's going to be terrible, or
exactly.
Like what are you thinking about when you're writing that versus like, man, that's going to be fun. I'm excited about this.
Yes.
Like, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean I'm going to feel great afterwards or even during it. But like, I know in a month's time, I'm going to be thankful I started this.
Yes, exactly. And that's something that I'm learning too and still working on, of just like slowing down and really connecting with myself on how something makes me feel, instead of just trying to hurry up, go through the process and never get anywhere, basically. Yeah. So good. Yeah, that's something I'm going to try to use more this year too. Really thinking about that. I
think the New Year's resolution is a really good idea. I think one of the things that for me, I don't know, let me know what your thoughts are on New Year's resolution. They kind of seem to be, at least I have the idea of, they're kind of different than a goal, because it's an all or nothing. It's a complete change. It's a complete, like, there is no, like, you're not allowed to mess up.
That's always been your thoughts behind it?
Yeah, like, do this, then going forward. So there's no room for, like, growth. There's no room for, growth's the wrong word, transition. Working towards that. Like, if I want to start working out 4 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is, like, and if I only go 2, like, that's not a failure. I need to look at that as success in my transition period, right? I need to almost be a little bit more thoughtful of like, when if I go to the gym 0 days and I want to do 3 days, like when? So almost applying like our SMART goals,
like we've talked about
to
before.
New Year's resolution of like, okay, so January, just go 1 day a week.
On
In
Wednesdays
February,
at 9 a.m. I'm going. Yeah.
Set some specific stuff to it, and then February, and then you're going to be actually, as people, the New Year's resolution gym attendees are starting to dwindle. You're actually building steam and going 2 days and then going 3 days.
Exactly. It sounds like that's a healthier way for you to kind of look at it then, because in the past, kind of having this resolution, this is the hard cut line, how it has to be, hasn't served you well.
And maybe no one else thinks of it like that. Maybe everyone else is a little bit more realistic in their resolution ideas and thoughts. But mine were always very hard, very rigid,
Yeah.
very, stop or start something completely.
Yeah. Well, and I was the same way. So
Okay.
you're not alone.
That's good.
Maybe it's just you and I out there, but
maybe it's just us.
maybe it's just us.
Probably,
but yeah,
probably.
I was the same way too, where it didn't feel like the typical goal. It was very like hard nosed. This is how it has to be kind of thing. No wiggle
what's
room.
the point of a resolution? Isn't it for life change? It's not to say, okay, for 365 days, and then after that, I'm done with it forever.
Exactly.
It's like, I would like to make this change in my life to better my life, whether it's adding or subtracting something, right? To make
Very
that change.
true.
So if it's going to be long-term, beyond 1 year, why not build in proper transition and like develop routine, develop habit, develop
give yourself
proper
some
mindset.
time. Yeah, and I think I know for me, anyways, I've always felt like I've been like a hurry up, come on, I want to get there already, and so
No, I
Yeah.
that's human nature. I don't think you're any different than anyone else. Or,
yeah, but I think that sometimes is what can be a factor that sabotages me, is because I want it now. Like, I wanted it yesterday, and so being patient, like I feel like everything is fast. We have fast food, we have like internet's fast, and just everything is delivered to us in such a fast manner.
You want to know something, get on your phone and you'll know it.
Exactly. Right? And so this is a process, like you said earlier, and it takes time. And so reminding, I think, ourselves of that in this hectic, busy world is important thing to do. And so do you want to?
Well, let me ask you this. So after we've talked about that, kind of, let's draw some clear things on, we talked about kind of what they are, or at least what our thoughts are. If kind of, do we do the whole New Year's resolution thing? Say we do, or others do. How do people make them stick? We kind of touched on that a little bit. More than just the transition period. I think that's a good idea, but like, even if we break that down and kind of distill that down a little bit further, how do we help other people make New Year's resolutions stick?
Well, what comes to me first is kind of what we talked about earlier, is thinking about like, what are your thoughts and your feelings towards that goal? So just whether it is sitting down and just writing out what your goal is, and really just taking time to tune in with yourself of, what are my thoughts about this goal? What feelings are coming up for me when I'm thinking about this goal for myself? So really to get clear on that first, I think will be important, because that'll help us, like we said, possibly determine if we have action or inaction. Mm-hmm. And I think just some other factors that I know we talk a lot about in coaching is having someone that we're accountable to. So once we make a goal, like letting somebody else know that, hey, this is something I'm working on, whether it's a partner, a spouse, whatever, a friend, having somebody hold you accountable to it. Like you're going out to dinner and you said no sweets, and you order a sweet, that person knows your goal, and
they get to eat it for you.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for that cookie. Right. Exactly. You get to eat it for them. But so I think those are a couple of things that I've learned along the way. And then what we touched on earlier, like we've all heard of the SMART goals, but so just being very specific with our goal. And make it a process goal rather than an outcome goal. So like, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay, that's great. You want to lose 30 pounds, but that's your outcome. What is the process to get you to that 30-pound goal?
Yeah. And let me pause you right there. Is 30-pound weight loss even realistic?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So having to really think about, and it's, if you're like, I want to lose 30 pounds in 2 months, it's like, well,
Okay. Yeah. There's two things. Like, is the amount I want to lose proper? Is the time frame I want to lose proper? And then like, are my goals to get there proper? Like being thoughtful, being realistic, if this is supposed to be long-term, life-changing, give yourself some time, don't give yourself time just so you can eat cheat meals all the time, but give yourself some time to like make proper life changes.
Exactly. And kind of bundling that up with like what we've mentioned before in different podcasts, not related to goals particularly, but about the power of visualization, visualizing yourself, doing things differently. So visualizing yourself, whatever that goal is that you're doing, that you're running that mile faster, running it at that 6:30 pace that you're wanting, seeing those numbers, seeing yourself do it, noticing how your body and your feet are all like going, working in harmony together to get you there, so just, that's the things that have come to mind for me that have really helped me along the way with goals, and sticking to them. But I'm curious, what about you? What would you have to add?
Yeah, I say a couple things really. Like you kind of touched on this, but just to use the word like mindset, like your mindset behind the goal. Kind of how you talked about with the person who was talking about going to the gym and they're just kind of feelings and thoughts of apathy kind of leading into that. So what is my mindset behind this? Do I see this as a possibility for myself? Am I excited about it? Am I doing it as punishment, or am I doing it to give myself just like a better life? I'm worthy of this. I'm deserving of this. I deserve to lose weight. I deserve to eat proper. I deserve to feel good or be better with my money. Apply it to all of your things, or add reading into or meditation, or add journaling into my thing, or call grandma once a week. Whatever your resolution is, like you deserve that. And like, what are the benefits to come from that? From yourself, from others that you're around all the time? How are they going to benefit from you? So just to get a broad picture and a proper mindset, I think the visualization, like you mentioned, is really good. And another thing that I really think that helps in making a resolution, we can apply this to just goals, I think, because that's really what a resolution is. And at least the way that you and I are kind of breaking it down is maybe using a coach, or even if it's just a friend or family member as an accountability partner. I think that's one of the most powerful things that you can do. Is I think the coach kind of extends a little bit beyond maybe a friend or family member in terms of accountability, because they can really help you set proper goals and proper timeframes on things, and maybe go through some visualization and some mindset techniques and stuff like that. So
yeah, and if you're kind of coming across hiccups, kind of like figure out what's going on here. Don't just give up. What's excuse me, what's the hiccup here?
You okay?
Yeah.
Good? Okay. Yeah. So I think that's a really good idea. I think coming across some of those things, kind of laying out what some of the obstacles might be, like being thoughtful, using kind of foresight into saying like, what are some of the things I'm going to run into that might make this more challenging?
Exactly.
So to expect that, plan for that, and be able to move past it.
Yeah, and that's a great point you brought that up about obstacles. That's a piece I did forget that does help me, and I've worked with some clients on that too, where they've one of the goals maybe, I use weight loss a lot, but it feels like that's one that a lot of people work on.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a pretty common one. But it's like, well, one of the obstacles could be my birthday's coming up like next week. So it's like, okay, well, let's plan for that. Let's talk about that, because that could be something that could really get in your way if we don't think about it and plan for it now about what you're going to do. So kind of give you a game plan of how you want to approach it too. So yeah, that's a great point.
Do you want to do that all or nothing, no birthday cake? Or do you want to say, no, I'm going to have one small piece and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the celebration of me and my friends and my family. And that's okay. I'm building that in. So it's in the afternoon, so I'm going to eat a little lighter breakfast, or, I'm going to just plan for it, So if it's a calorie thing, if it's maybe I'll do a little jog in the morning, or, maybe maybe my walk will be a little bit longer. So, there's so many ways that you can do it. And it's not like it has to be even, you can go over, but to have a plan. The whole point is to have a plan.
Exactly.
Something that you feel good about.
Right.
Where it's not punishment, where I don't have to go the next day and starve myself or run 100 miles, just in punishment. If you want to run 100, great. But I think the mindset behind that should not be punishment because of what I did.
Exactly. I think that's a huge piece about it. And I know another piece too that just came to mind to me is just make sure you're doing it for you and not somebody else.
Yeah.
I know I've done that a lot.
Same.
Guilty. Years ago. And then it's like, why didn't it stick? Well, it was like, because that really wasn't your goal. You were doing it for somebody else or because you thought somebody else wanted that for you.
Or even a lot of people, even if it's just society, it doesn't have to be a named person or several people. It could be like, I want everyone to think I'm this.
True.
And this level of athlete or skinny or have money or whatever, name the thing. But
yeah, that's a good point. It really is. Do you want to get into sharing what our goals perhaps for 2020 are?
2020.
Yeah. Do you want to kick us off on what your goal is?
My resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one too. So
you do?
I do.
Well, how about you go first?
Okay.
I have one.
So what I resolve to do is to really work on being more present in everything that I do. And so what that looks like for me is like, I even noticed, in conversation, like sometimes my brain will start to go left, right, everywhere but where I'm at right now. And I just gently remind myself, hey, Nina, you're kind of going over here, like come back to the conversation or come back to the task at hand and just be present right there. And so I do it in a very kind, non-judgmental way to myself. But like I said, even as we were having this podcast, I noticed myself doing that and I would just bring myself back to it. So just to be honest, like it's my attention span sometimes is shorter. And so I just have to bring it back. So that's what I'm going to really work on is just noticing when I'm getting away and not staying present. Like for example, when I was riding on the trainer today, doing that like group ride, I noticed myself thinking about, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I was like, nope, Anina, bring it back to right now. You're in this, doing this group ride and soften those shoulders, soften that jaw, like just allowing myself to be present in the activity I'm doing right now. And reminding myself that when I want ready to devote time to those other litany of things I have to do, then I can put my full attention to that. But for right now, put your full attention into what you're doing. So I think it's going to be a good challenge, but I think overall in life in general, it's going to be very impactful for me and just help me in my relationships with myself, with others. I really don't see how it can, be harmful or anything like that to me. So
no, wow, that's great. And that's very commendable. I think that's a great goal because look at 2020 already set up for us. Like it's new. It's
yeah, lots of newness.
Yeah. And with that newness, probably it's going to bring a whole host of challenges and maybe craziness and things that we don't even know. Like we have no clue what this whole world of parenting is going to be like. We can read every book we want to read, watch every video, talk to parents, but until we,
get in there and experience it.
Yeah, get our hands dirty, for lack of better words.
Right.
We have no idea. So like, it's just, and really mine is very much the same. Like I have had a problem, and this is because I've had a problem with this for so many years I've always been living in the future, fast forwarding life. Like I can't wait till then. I can't wait till this is different. I can't wait till this job or this house or drive this car or whatever thing. I was fast forwarding through life, and my resolution is very much the same as yours, is live life every day instead of waiting for the future and attending to the future. So be where my feet are, exactly like what you said. So, enjoy the
Awesome.
dirty diaper, enjoy this crazy hectic period as we close on a house, move, try to, have a baby and like do all of it at once,
Right.
enjoy it. It's going to be crazy, but honestly, those make for the best stories, right? Like
Yeah.
we
they
did
do.
it. I don't know how we're going to do it. It's probably going to be nuts, but we're going to survive. We're going to get through it. We're going to lean on our support system of friends and family. And if you're listening, yeah, come on. We need you and be a part of our story. And,
Yeah.
we're going to have fun every day, carrying a million boxes and setting stuff up and not being prepared for this and being prepared for that and, forgetting things. But that's what we're going to do. And
Yeah.
we're going to love it. And I don't want to go too far into the future of like thinking and planning, like some things you kind of need to, but I just want to enjoy every day and live life and be excited about it.
Exactly. That's awesome. So it sounds like we can really hold each other accountable too, since we have some similar goals.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be an easy accountability thing for you and I, like in the craziest of moments, we can look at each other and just say, hey, are you here? Are you present?
Where are you at?
Are you enjoying this?
Yeah.
Remember this, enjoy this, like live it to the the max.
Exactly. Because, I even think about like when you're just doing something that you've done a million times, like washing the dishes or brushing your teeth. Like, how can you make it a new experience, a more enjoyable experience when you're doing it, and just, those are like simple things, but just like, oh, I'm noticing, my toothbrush go over every single tooth here and I'm getting here, whatever, but just like be more engaged, I think too, is what it's reminding me to do too.
I love it. I couldn't agree more. So I kind of want to just start now. There's really no reason to wait a day or two. What's the 29th? So a couple days, until January 1. It's something. And again, that goes back to that barometer of like, I don't need to get all of the living in the future out right now because come January 1, I said I have to do it, so I have to. So it's just like,
right.
No, it's just a fun practice. Like, no, that will make my life actually more enjoyable and more fun. And every day, every month, every year, I'll remember and it will be meaningful and impactful to me instead of just saying, oh, I can't wait until then. I can't wait until then. Life will be good then. Enjoy it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's good. You're kind of working through that of figuring out not to do it the way you've always approached goals and resolutions in the past. And I think for me, really using that, what are my thoughts around this? What are my feelings around this? Have really been helpful. And every time I go think about it and assess my feelings towards it about this goal, feels really good. And my thoughts around it are really positive, and my feelings around it are really hopeful and very excited as well. It's kind of, this is a whole different way for me to be. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. That's very exciting. I think probably at a good point where we can land this plane. It's a little shorter than our normal episodes, but I think that's fine. I think we kind of hit on everything. Unless you have anything, like, please feel free if you got anything that you need to feel like we need to touch on. Go for it.
No, I don't think anything else.
Okay.
I feel good.
Cool. So everyone, do us a favor, please. Share
Yes.
this episode or any other your favorite episode with someone. It does us a ton of good. I think we are closing in on our goal. We're just down to a couple of days to hit our 2,000 downloads for the year.
Yes.
So please help us get there. Share, subscribe.
Like Evan always says, nab someone's phone.
Yeah, nab someone's. Just snag a
Snatch
phone,
their phone
and subscribe them and download everything.
Yes.
No, but in all seriousness, we thank everyone for listening. Please do leave a review though if you haven't already. It does a lot of good for kind of help promoting the show and getting it a little bit more attention and viewership, or listenership rather. And also head on over to our Facebook page. If you want to be a part, if you want an invite for that, you can just click on there and answer the couple questions. It is kind of like a private group, so we'll approve pretty much anybody. But we do want to, see the questions and make sure just like it's not just like a free for all in there. So that way, it's kind of a place where everyone can come together and kind of continue these conversations. We can talk about really any topic that you need to, but it's a place where we can continue the conversation from week to week and ask questions and feel safe about, people. We're all like-minded in there. So,
and if you want to share what you're working towards for this new year,
please let us know.
Share. Yeah,
absolutely. We're excited to hear what everyone's resolutions are and what you're working towards for 2020 and maybe what you have on the horizon. It's exciting and we can't wait to hear from you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think with all that, don't forget to go forward in power,
love,
and a sound mind.
Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Peace.